You're listening to the Phillip Jordan Show, talking SEC football and beyond.
Good Tuesday morning, everybody, and welcome into the Phillip Jordan Show. I'm your host, Phillip Jordan. The last word on college football and 96.9 The Legend in Dothan, Alabama, where I'm the in-studio host and producer, Dothan Woods Football. Hope you're having a great morning if you're watching live on YouTube. Hope you have a great Tuesday if you're checking out the podcast. Flying solo today on the show. We're going to just talk about a few topics here today. We're going to talk about the AP poll being released. We will talk about Myles Brennan leaving LSU. And I went to Facebook and got a question. So we're going to go to there, and Rhett Baxley kind of helped out with a topic to talk about at the end. So in the solo episodes, I'll probably just pick about 3 things to talk about. We'll get in and get out of here pretty quick. Now, if you are watching live on YouTube, please leave a comment in the comment section down there, and I'll talk about that at the end of the show as well. Before we jump into the topics, of course, let you guys know you can find me in the podcast. You can find me on social media at PJordanSEC. Podcast is available on all your favorite podcast platforms, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. If you're on our podcast, please follow, rate, and review. Leave a review. We'll read it on a future edition of the show. You can put a question there as well. I'll answer it. So I really appreciate it if you'll do that. And also for the folks listening to the podcast, you can check it out on YouTube, the Phillip Jordan Sports YouTube channel. And just go over there, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell for all the notifications. And if you have a comment on a video, I'll read that as well. And over there, you also get the Wiregrass High School Football Report and some other cool stuff as well. So let's jump into it. So we're just going to dive in. These solo pods, just me and you guys here chatting for a few minutes. Try to keep this in the 20, 30-minute range so it won't go too long. But anyways, the AP poll release. We had the coaches poll last week, which we discussed that here on the show. But this week now we have the AP poll, and not really surprising here for the YouTube audience. Let me put the poll up on the screen there. You guys see that there. Alabama, of course, at number 1. No surprise. Ohio State 2, Georgia 3. That's pretty much how the coaches poll was as well. So they're in unison there. I still say I probably would, for a preseason poll, put Georgia at least 2. A lot of people are still, oh, well, you see all the guys they lost. I mean, they're not going to be good. They're going to make a big drop off. Yeah, they're going to drop off. So, I mean, teams may score 14 points a game. Georgia's defense still going to be really, really good. Ohio State's loaded, obviously, on offense. I mean, CJ Stroud, I got a lot of people's going to have predicted him to win the Heisman this year, and wouldn't be shocked if he did so. You got Jackson Smith and Jigba at receiver. You got Marvin Harrison Jr. I mean, they're loaded at receiver. And, just to think, they lose Wilson and Olave, 2 first-round NFL wide receivers, and then, look, they got 2 more, it looks like, on the roster, which that's kind of what Alabama was going through and has been going through last few years at receiver. Look, I think Alabama is the best team in college football this year. They are my national championship prediction. Just with what they have with Bryce Young. I feel like Bryce Young won't have the stats he had last season because he won't have to. Alabama will throw the ball. They're going to throw the ball. That's what they do. That's what they've turned into. But they also like to run the ball. Look, Brian Robinson was basically all they had last year. They've got plenty of talent coming back. Jahmyr Gibbs at running back. He's going to be a star. I wouldn't be shocked if he started getting Heisman talk at one point this year, because he's just a player that can do pretty much everything for you. Running back, come out of backfield receiver. I mean, if Alabama wants to put him as a returner, he can. And I do think with Jermaine Burton, he's really going to have a big year for them as well. Offensive line is my big question with Alabama. Not that they're not good there. They're just not. I don't think their offensive line is up to par that the other positions are. But if that group just is good, Bryce Young is a good quarterback. He'll get the ball out. Now, I say that. I'm kind of going to contradict myself here. I do think Bryce Young has issues sometimes holding the ball too long. And I would like to see him use his running ability more. That's just kind of how I feel about him. Like I said, with Georgia, we'll see. With Stetson Bennett, they're loaded at tight end. Brock Bowers, Eric Gilbert, Darnell Washington. They're loaded there. They're going to be good at running back, offense line. And I like Stetson Bennett, the most disrespected quarterback in college football. guy just wins. Now, Clemson comes in at 4. They were number 4 in the coaches poll. Look, I won't be surprised if Clemson gets there. I think Clemson, and I believe they are the best team in the ACC, without a doubt. I mean, no questions asked. NC State's really close. NC State, I think, could give them a battle. And then with Hartman now at Wake Forest not playing for, we don't know why, just that deal there. That's one team contender for against Clemson that got knocked. I feel like Clemson should be, and they are the favorites in the ACC. I wouldn't be shocked if they get there. With DJ at quarterback, I want to see some improvement. They say he's looked better. He's lost weight. The offensive line's got to get better. They did not help him out last year. The skill position players really did not help him out last year either. I'll say that too. They were not up to what Clemson was used to and what quarterbacks Deshaun Watson and Trevor Lawrence had there. Notre Dame is 5 here. A lot of people are high on this team. Marcus Freeman, look, they're replacing quarterback, replacing running back. They're replacing a lot of players, and you have an unproven head coach. I think Notre Dame's going to be good. 9-10 wins. I don't think they're the number 5 team. You got Texas A&M coming in there at 6. A lot of hype around Texas A&M, and I still believe they have a lot of good players, but all young talent. I believe they are a year away, potentially. Now, I have gone on here. I've said on other shows. I've said online. I think Jimbo Fisher's 8-4 football coach, but if they are going to make a move, it's going to be 2023. I don't think it's this year. This is when this young talent this year, when they are going to take that leap. Utah 7. I like Utah. Utah is really good. They are a physical team. I like Rising at quarterback. He just makes plays for them. I believe Utah is the best team in the Pac-12. You can just get off it with that USC miss Colin Cowherd. I'm just not buying what you're selling. USC's just my concern, they're not going to be good enough up front to deal with Utah and Oregon. Those two are the best 2 teams in the Pac-12, in my opinion. Utah's the best. Michigan comes in at 8. I can see that. Big Ten champion, all that. Then you got Oklahoma and Baylor, back-to-back Big 12 teams at 9 and 10. Oregon comes in at 11. Oklahoma State is 12. NC State 13. NC State, Clemson, that's a game to circle on your calendar for this season. You should check that out. USC comes in at 14. Like I said, a team that had a losing record now here. Look, they got so much talent. I know Caleb Williams, Jordan Addison's coming in. I mean, they've got all the skill position players. I want to see how physical this team is at the line of scrimmage, because I will say this. It didn't really tell itself at Oklahoma in conference play because they were pretty much comparable to other Big 12 teams. But a lot of times when Oklahoma played the SEC teams or at Clemson or something, someone like that, Ohio State, if it was some physicality up front, they weren't as good with that. So I want to see what do they do there. Michigan State, Kenneth Walker's gone. We'll see what the offense does there. Mel Tucker got that big raise. Miami, we'll see. Mario Cristobal, I like this team. I believe they could be playing Clemson in the ACC championship game. Tyler Van Dyke, we'll see. Does he take that step? Because last year he kind of came out of nowhere for a lot of people. They did not know who he was as a quarterback. He's going to have a lot of attention on him. This is a guy that's been talked about as a first-round, second-round draft pick coming in. Can he take that step? Like I said, there's going to be a lot of pressure on him. Pittsburgh at 17. I don't think Pittsburgh's going to be that great. I'm not saying they're going to have a losing record, a 7 or 8 win team. I think they fall back. You lose Kenny Pickett, your quarterback, who's really playing well for the Steelers. He played really well in a preseason game the other night. And then also, of course, I mentioned it earlier, Jordan Addison, he's gone. He's now with USC. So, yeah, I think this – you put Pittsburgh there, they're the ACC, defending ACC champions, but I just don't think they're going to be good. But it could prove me wrong. Wisconsin comes in at 18. Graham Mertz, come on, quit turning the ball over. This team has a chance to be really good. They're going to be good defensively. They could always run the ball. Bobby Ingram coming as offensive coordinator. We'll see. Former NFL wide receiver. He's coming from the NFL. See if they do something a little different NFL with these receivers are there. See if they can just don't be as vanilla with the pass routes. Kind of open things up there. Arkansas comes 19. Of course, on yesterday's show, I had Wes Pruitt from Last One College Football, four-star Sports Media come on the show. We talked about Arkansas. He thinks Arkansas can be an SEC West contender. They're at 19 here. Kentucky at 20. Let you guys a little programming note. On tomorrow's show, I will be joined. It's early in the morning, guys. I'm still getting used to getting up super early doing these podcasts. But anyways, Aaron Gershon, he'll be on. He's from the Cat Paws 247 and the Believe in Kentucky podcast. He'll be joining me. We'll talk Calipari and Stoops some tomorrow, but also we will talk about Kentucky football, preview them. Ole Miss at 21. They're kind of a wild card just because all the transfers. Wake Forest comes in at 22. Cincinnati 23. I don't think Cincinnati's going to be in the rankings long. Actually, they play Arkansas first. I think Arkansas is going to cruise in that game. Houston at 24. I think Houston's the best group of 5 team. I really like what they have. And then at 25, I'm going to go. They go. I'm not going to go. They go with BYU. That's another team I think some people think can make a really run, and they have some interesting games on their schedule. Some Power 5 opponents. They play Arkansas. They play Oregon this year. They play a few others. So win those games, we'll see. Now, after that, the schedule does drop off. There's a big difference between their big games and then those games. So we will see how that goes for the BYU team. But it'll be very interesting how that goes for them. All right, real quickly, before we do jump into the next topic, let you guys know if you're watching live on YouTube, please put a comment down below. Just let me know you're here. Be fun. I mean, I can see when we have viewers coming in, but leave a comment, question, or anything like that, and I'll make sure to talk about it at the end of the show. Next topic, LSU will be -1 quarterback. Quarterback Myles Brennan announces he is retiring from football. And a statement says, stepping away from football, and he did it first. It came out in a tweet. Key that up. What a journey it has been. I have given my all to this university and football team. I love every one of you. I will be a Tiger for life. 15 is officially signing out. Hashtag LSU forever. And his comment here. Over the last 5 years, I have given my all my body, heart, and soul to LSU football. Playing for LSU has been a dream come true. Wearing the purple and gold, running into Death Valley, winning the national championship, and starting at quarterback for LSU Tigers. What more could a kid ask for? I will never forget the time I spent and the memories I have made here. To the players who have suited up alongside me, to the coaches who recruited, signed, and developed me, to the training staff who care for me, to the support staff who has provided everything I needed to compete at the highest level and continue my education, and to the fans who cheered for me every step of the way. Thank you. I want to say thank you to the student body, the administration, and the entire LSU fan base for all of your tremendous support. Over the last 5 years, I will never forget my time in Baton Rouge. I love LSU and all of our fans. I am forever grateful for every opportunity I've been given, every obstacle I've overcome, and every second I've been a Tiger. However, after 5 seasons, it's time for me to start a new chapter in my life. I am announcing today that I will be stepping away from football. I am thankful for where this journey has taken me so far, and I'm looking forward to where it takes me next. That was Myles Brennan. LSU put that out. LSU football put that out on their social media platforms. He put it out on his Twitter account. That's where we get that comment. Now, of course, we got some comments from Brian Kelly. He had stuff to say about Myles Brennan. I got kind of some thoughts on some of the stuff that Brian Kelly says here. We are grateful to Myles for everything he has done for LSU football. Myles is a great leader who has made a tremendous impact on this program and who has earned the respect of everyone here through his commitment and love for LSU. Myles has always embodied the traits required to fulfill our mission to graduate champions, and we have full confidence those traits will help him succeed at every step in his journey as he moves forward. So, Brian Kelly, not much relationship with Myles Brennan. I mean, yeah, Myles Brennan was obviously, I feel like he was a Les Miles recruit, potentially. I know. Yeah, y'all let me know if I'm right on that. I believe he was a Les Miles recruit. Could be wrong, but obviously, he was at Orgeron. He played behind Joe Burrow, and then of course, now he's stepping down before playing a game for Brian Kelly. He talked about leadership stuff there, but I say Brian Kelly, that's a smart move to say what he said there because not much relationship. He's probably, I would say as a coach, you're probably not too happy that when your quarterback is leaving the team just 2-3 weeks away from the season starting. But it's very smart from a recruiting standpoint and just say your players, hey, he's got our back. He understands. He's not going to come out and dog us or talk bad about us in the media. He's going to support us in our decisions. And so I believe Brian Kelly means that too. I'm not saying he just did it, for public relations. It was good to put that out there. It's a message to future recruits. You want to show that. Also, it does seem like you see LSU players now. See, he really cares and they really do like Brian Kelly and what he has brought to the table at LSU. But he talked about a leader. I have some issues here on both sides of it, and I think there's some that do as well. One of my main issues here, I'll start with Myles Brennan. And even Brian Kelly mentioned there a leader. Look, the story came out yesterday, too, that he wasn't going to get the starting job. He was not going to be a starting quarterback. Of course, the news was last week that Jay Daniels was getting a lot of the first-team reps. Garrett Nussmeier played really well in the spring, so Myles Brennan wasn't going to be the quarterback. And opinion there, I think Myles Brennan be the better guy, but I'm not at practice. I'm not seeing what the coaches are seeing. And at the same time, we really couldn't get a good glimpse of what Jaden Daniels was in the LSU spring game, if that's all you saw. Because in those spring games, you can't touch the quarterback. You can't hit the quarterback. You can't do any of that kind of stuff. So his skill set really couldn't be on display in that setting. But like I said, I would pick Myles Brennan over 3. But as I said just a second ago, I'm also not at practice. I'm not seeing what Brian Kelly and the coach staff are seeing. But at the same time, like I said, quarterback leaving 3 weeks, because there is a good chance he could have played. Jay Daniels could not have been good. And you can say, okay, let's put Myles Brennan in. He has played, and he's played well in games when he has played. I mean, injuries have been an issue with him, obviously. I kind of have issues with that. It's just players giving up, quittings like that. Now, it does not seem like from his comments that he's going to be playing anywhere else anytime soon. Football is done for him. So, but I don't know. I kind of have some issues. But with Brian Kelly too, you made a big deal about getting him back when you took over. Then you bring in Jay Daniels. Let's look at it. For Myles Brennan, he waited until he was a fourth-year junior to start in 2020. He sat behind Joe Burrow for 2 years. And in 2020, he threw in 3 games 1,112 yards, 11 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and 60% completion percentage. That was against Mississippi State, Vanderbilt, and Missouri. Now, LSU started bad. That was coming off the national championship. They started 1-2 there. But it wasn't because of him. He struggled early that first game against Mississippi State. But after that, he kind of got things going there, did Myles Brennan. Got the muscle injury, put him out rest of the year. And then last year, he had the injury and fishing incident. So then he's not playing there. Obviously, for LSU last year, Max Johnson played the whole thing. And then he announces he's going to the transfer portal. And then Max Johnson leaves. So then quarterback did not look good for LSU when Brian Kelly first got there. I mean, they just basically had to, Band-Aid something together in the bowl game that they got beat pretty bad by Kansas State. So he comes back. It's okay. Myles Brennan will probably be the quarterback. Let him and, Garrett Nussmeier fight out. Then you bring in Jaden Daniels from Arizona State, who has showed promise in his first year, has struggled last 2 years. So now you got this quarterback competition. And you still kind of felt like, Myles Brennan probably should be the guy. Like I just said, Jay Daniels probably didn't look greatly impressive for LSU. But then again, like I said, you can't get much out of that just because he can't show off his skill set to everybody in a spring game because you're not hitting the quarterbacks. Jay Daniels, like I said, he comes in, and then he's been taking first-team reps. If you see the news that's been going on about that LSU that came out. So it kind of all boils down, and now he announces he's leaving the program. Now it's going to be interesting. Is Jay Daniels the leading guy? Is Garrett Nussmeier got a shot at starting? Like I said, he looked really good in the spring. I'm kind of wondering, because are we leaning toward Jay Daniels being the starting quarterback when they play Florida State on the 4th of September to open up the season in New Orleans? We shall see. But very, very interesting stuff. Hate to see Myles Brennan go. He's kind of had a rough go of it really. He never really was able to get that traction at quarterback, which I guess you wanted him to have. But we'll see. We'll see how the LSU quarterback thing goes moving forward. I know there's some LSU people out there not happy. I get it. It's just I kind of see the negative side on both sides. I see Myles Brennan kind of feel like you just quit on your team because you're not going to get to play. Like a reason why a lot of these quarterbacks and players really entered the transfer portal now. You don't want to compete. You just want to, okay, I'm not going to get to play. I'm going to take my ball and go home. But at the same time, Brian Kelly made a big deal of bringing him back, and then all this goes down. So I can see the negativity on both sides of the situation. Now, I told you guys this was a late night post. I didn't really put it up with enough time for a lot of people to jump in, really. And we're still trying to grow this thing too, doing these live shows, talking to people, and all that kind of stuff. But to get one person chimed in, and why we do this, just bring in a topic or question or something like that from somebody from social media when we do these solo shows. But Rhett Baxley, a good friend, I know listener of the show, he threw out there another possible topic, SEC mysteries. One topic he had was the poll, which we were going to talk about here. I think no one knows what to expect from LSU, Ole Miss, Florida, South Carolina, and Missouri, and Auburn has no expectations this year, which history shows that's when they accomplish big things. So let's jump at it from we just talked about LSU, so we won't really talk about them. Ole Miss, these are a lot of transfers. I mean, the roster has been remade by Lane Kiffin. Defensively, I think they'll be really good. They got better last season. We'll see where that goes. Offensively, you just got to replace Matt Corral. The quarterback battle between Jackson Dart and Luke Altmaier, you feel like it's probably going to be Dart coming in from USC. They got plenty of the skill positions. You got Jonathan Mingo coming back at receiver. I think Ole Miss is going to be good this year, but I think the first couple of weeks we're going to have to see how the new offensive parts merge together. Florida, Billy Napier he's really hitting the ground running, recruiting there, something Dan Mullen was not doing in the last couple of years. Obviously, Dan Mullen didn't like recruiting. I like Florida in the future with Billy Napier. Obviously, with Anthony Richardson at quarterback, you're going to have a chance in a lot of games that you probably wouldn't have if you didn't have him at quarterback. He's an elite player at the position. He's getting tall, first-round talent. We'll see. We haven't really seen him play a lot, too. I mean, you didn't really see him play a whole bunch last season. You saw moments. You know, he started at Georgia Cameron. That didn't go well, which, I mean, who did it go well for last year other than Bryce Young and SEC championship against that Georgia defense? They're probably I think Florida's ceiling for this season is probably 8-4, just because I think they've got some good players. Obviously, the depth is going to be an issue, I think, over in Gator Country. But positivity there. I'll say that with them. South Carolina is a wild card to me. Shane Beamer got a lot of momentum last year. That team going to a bowl game on 7-6, beat North Carolina in the Mayo Bowl. They surprised a lot of people. And Shane Beamer had that team believing. They won some games they probably had no business winning. Auburn helped them out with theirs. I ranted on that enough. I got to move on, Phillip. Got to move on from Auburn losing South Carolina last year. But with Spencer Rattler coming in, look, I know what people are going to say. Spencer Rattler got benched last year. He played bad. There's a reason why he got out of Oklahoma. It just wasn't working. He was a good year before. He's shown he can be good. I think he's a kind of quarterback that gets in his head. So, obviously, that's concerning when you talk about Spencer Rattler. But I'm not saying this team is going to be capable of winning the East. I think here's where I'm going to go with it. As we're talking today in mid-August, Georgia, Kentucky, Tennessee, I think South Carolina can finish fourth. I really do. I think they're capable. I think between them and Florida, that's the kind of 4 and 5. I think that's where that's gonna lay with those two. And then I'll go with Missouri 6, and then I'm gonna go with Vanderbilt last in the East. But that's kind of where I'm looking at it with those. Let's see. You talk about Missouri. That's kind of it. They did announce Brady Cook was going to be the starting quarterback last week for Missouri. So we'll see. I think they can win 6 games in Missouri. I wouldn't expect much more than that. And then Auburn. Auburn. Obviously, he's right. A lot of times in Auburn's history, when no one is expecting anything out of them, they've been really good. Defensively, they're going to be good. Absolutely. Derek Hall up front. I hope Owen Papo can stay healthy. Secondary, I think, could be a strength. Nehemiah Pritchett there as well. Offensively is the key, the quarterback position. Now, if you read or listen to anything going on with Auburn, TJ Finley looks like he has been playing really well in fall camp so far. Of course, they bring in Zach Calzada, the transfer to Texas A&M. His claim to fame is beating Alabama, which Auburn fans are always going to love. And then you have Robbie Ashford there as well. And TJ Finley may be the guy. And you know what? If he is, I kind of get it in a way because he is the most experienced quarterback in the system. I mean, Bobo was the offensive coordinator last year, but he still knows what to want to do. I feel like, and this could, I could be wrong. I'm not there in practice. I'm not seeing this. I feel like the Bobo offense and what they're going to do with Coach Schmedding there now, not Schmedding, he's the defensive coordinator. Keesaw. These boys are assistants of Harson's. Anyways, and it's first thing in the morning. Once again, I have a valid excuse if I mess up names for right now. We're early in the morning. But I don't feel like the offense per se is different. I feel like the philosophies will be different. I do feel like Auburn's going to run the ball more, and that's the key, Tank Bisbee. And, you know, it's whoever wins quarterback is going to be important. I don't think nobody's expecting any of these quarterbacks to come into work and light the world on fire, be a Heisman Trophy contender. They're going to run the ball. Offensive line is going to be key. Look at the development of wide receivers too as well. It's positive. You have Ike Hilliard there as your new wide receivers coach, just with his history. But we shall see. We shall see how that goes with him, with these guys. The offense is where the questions are at. Defensively, Auburn should be really good with Coach Schmedding. Ain't right. But with Keesaw, what's offense? Quarterback. And it's kind of coming down to quarterback. Offensive line is solid. Okay, they got good tight ends at Auburn. One of the other teams out there that's really loaded there. Receivers is going to be the question. I say just feed Tank the ball. You got to be a physical running team. So we'll see. I mean, Brian Harson's going to have a great year, though. With everything that happened back in February, I believe that Auburn is going to have to really, really have a great year for him to keep his job. I mean, he may have to beat Alabama to save it. Which, had he Tank Bisbee not ran out of bounds last year in Iron Bowl, he probably wouldn't have the issues that he is having so far. But we'll see. All right, guys, I ain't going to get out of here. Solo pod. What about 30 minutes? Boy, Phillip can talk by himself for 30 minutes and do a show. That's right. Anyways, we'll be back tomorrow. We talk Kentucky football. Aaron Gershon from Cat Paws 247 and the Believe in Kentucky Football Podcast, Kentucky Sports Podcast. Really do everything over there. So be back tomorrow. It's going to be fun. Guys, remember you can follow me on social media at PJordanSEC. The podcast is available on all your favorite podcast platforms. And if you're on Apple Podcasts, please follow, rate, and review. Leave a review. I'll read it if you just in the show. Of course, really pushing YouTube. So if you're listening to the show right now or if you're watching it on another platform I'm posting a video on, please go to the YouTube channel, hit subscribe button, Phillip Jordan Sports, and also hit the bell to get all notifications when there's a new video, when we go live, as we are right now. And also leave a comment on the video, and I'll read that on a future edition of the show as well. You guys know you can always email me at sportstalkphillipjordan@gmail.com. And this is Tuesday. Still got 3 more shows to go this week, guys. I'm daily. I'm daily right here on the YouTube channel. Now, remember, Thursday will be NFL day. So we'll be in college football talk on Thursday. And then we'll do another one of these on Friday. I don't have a guest lined up for Friday. So it looks like it's just going to be me and you guys. An intimate conversation between me and the listeners and viewers. But anyways, guys, I hope y'all have a great Tuesday. And I'll talk to you on Wednesday. Till next time. Bye-bye.